successful souls. We have a super special episode today. Today is an Inner Feminine Beast interview. I really want to introduce you today to somebody who is near and dear to my heart, somebody who I have literally seen get out of her comfort zone in so many ways to have so much growth. Somebody who is really showing up in alignment as her inner feminine beast every day, and not just, having the plan, having the aligned thoughts, having the aligned feelings, but truly taking aligned action, doing the things to get it done and see it through to create results in her life that she's dreamed of doing for a really long time. So today I'm going to be introducing you to one of my amazing clients. She's a VIP client. This means she's a member of the Spiritual Success Experience. This is my 12-month program where, again, we really work on mastering, not trying, not dabbling, not figuring out, but mastering our mindset, our meditation, our manifestation, and understanding metaphysics. But she's also worked with me as a VIP client, which means she's a one-on-one client for the last 6 months. So she's going to tell you her story, how she's evolved, and what she's been able to achieve working together in the last 6 months. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce everybody to Miss Natalia Neville.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Natalia. I love the cheetah. It's very inner feminine beast. Yeah. I'm surprised I'm not wearing it today, actually. Well, before we got started, and again, thank you so much for being here. I'd love for you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, you're born somewhere, you live somewhere now, and then also what do you do professionally?
Right, so I'm Russian, so I've been born in Moscow, and I came to this country, this country being the UK, that's where I'm speaking to you now, in 2000. I'm a funny one, I suppose, because I actually studied physics and my work is in financial, very kind of mathy, financial area, risk management and whatever have you. But I also have always had an interest in metaphysics. There's always been something in me that was pushing me. So I studied a lot with all sorts of different, obviously famous names like Anthony Robbins and Bob Proctor. I studied for 2 years in the energy healing school. So I kind of had that double, completely different parts of my husband always says, how can you have both in one head? But I do. And I think that was the question. So I think I've covered it mostly. So right now I live in London and been living there since 2000.
And then I love it because I think it's important. A lot of times when people come and they ask about Spiritual Success Experience or what is about working with our community, they're like, do I have to be an entrepreneur? Do I have to be an entrepreneur? I'm like, no, there's several of my VIP clients and women in the Spiritual Success Experience who are executive women. And so you're definitely a leader in your industry, in the financial world. But like you said, you're a woman in a masculine industry where the go, the do is part of your everyday. But you've always had that interest in understanding how to incorporate spiritual and metaphysics into achieving success. So investing isn't new to you. Like you said, you went to energy school. What school was it exactly? It was in the UK, is that correct?
Yeah, it's School of Intuition and Healing. So okay. We studied all sorts of things, chakras. I think in the States you call it Reiki, essentially.
Reiki, right? Yeah.
But it's so we had clients with like the whole proper experience, basically.
And you were in Bob Proctor's inner circle. And I remember you said you've had meditation classes from some celebrity coaches. So this isn't new to you. But I remember when I was brand new to you. So let's go back about a year ago. And when you first decided, before you became a VIP client, you joined the Spiritual Success Experience. How did you discover me and how did you know that you wanted to join the Spiritual Success Experience?
Well, that kind of thinking about it, this seems to be the story of my life. Whenever there is an important point on, like a turning point on my path, I get really clear signals. And I wasn't looking. I actually just joined the program with someone else working on my mindset to do with the body. So to get the body I want and to keep it. And I was really enjoying it. I made a big investment. And I had a friend that I made on one of Bob Proctor's program. And she kept telling me that this is like, there's this lady and she does this meditation. And, I wasn't interested, basically, because, I kind of knew that anyway. But she said a few things that really stuck with me, a few examples that you gave. I remember thinking, yeah, I like how she put it. I agree entirely. So, and then she kept sort of saying, well, I'm sorry, this is my cat.
It's all good.
Yeah, she always does that when I'm speaking on like having meetings or something. Anyway, and she basically kept asking me, and I promised. I said, okay, I'll have a look. She said, because look, she's finishing this new group, and then you won't be able to join for some time. Blah, blah, blah. And because I promised, it was literally the last day, and I remember thinking, I know I'm not going to do it, but since I promised, I don't like not to do it. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll click on that link. So I click on the link that's supposed to tell me about you and the program. I never heard about you. I knew nothing. And in the link, there was an option to go and pay. And then I hear like a little voice, do it. I go, what? I don't know this person. I haven't looked at her. I don't have time to look at her now. It was already evening in my time. Sorry. And as I said, I just paid for another program. I didn't think I had time. I was very busy. I was writing a book. I have a full-time job. I have a family. And I was like, no, it can't be right. And then it's like, I heard it again. And when it's twice, it doesn't happen that often to me. So, okay, fine. I said, fine. Okay, I clicked on it. Yeah, and then obviously I never regretted a second, and I was always very grateful that I have those leadings in my life when it's important. My signals are really clear.
I love that. So first of all, shout out to Miss Raven Riddle. Thank you, Raven, for introducing Natalia to us. She doesn't mind, she doesn't need to be anonymous. We love her so much. So thank you, Raven, for that. But also, so I mean, you hear it all the time. It's like, well, I'm investing in something else right now. And, I'm an executive woman. Yes, I have children. Yes, I play tennis. Yes, I have, a book right now. Yes, I'm doing all the things. But when you hear the calling, and you hear the hunch, and you hear spirit, it's not denying it, and it's moving forward. And the funny part is, like, you never even saw my face. You never saw the workshop. You never saw anything. In fact, when I remember we were joking, when you first saw me, you turned to Raven. You're like, this is the lady. Like, this is it. Like, this is this blonde girl. She's the one that's going to be our spiritual teacher. I wasn't expecting her, but you went with your hunch and you aligned with your intuition. You said yes. And there's so much power when you say yes and make a decision based off intuition, because intuition is how we receive our guidance from the heavens, how we really connect to our inner feminine beast. So I just want to say kudos to you. And I just think that's such a cool story, because look where we have gone in a year because you didn't ignore that feeling. You didn't understand it, but you felt it, you went with it. And that's how so many things in my life have happened too. And I just think that's really powerful. And I wanted people to hear that you just listened to the inner feminine beast and you said, yeah, I'm going to do what she says, even though I don't understand it. I'm going to go into the unknown, not expecting what's going to happen. And always when you do that, it's this and something so much more. So when you first came into Spiritual Success Experience, you were taking the classes for a while. And I remember kind of hearing your feedback. You're like, some of this stuff, especially the meditation, the Successful Soul System, really is a lot different than everything I've learned, even though I invested in so much other things. What was the Spiritual Success Experience like for you in the first few months? Can you recall?
I do. I mean, there was loads, but the things that really stood out, I can't remember. I think you told us for 2 months we were to do a meditation, but you didn't teach us on purpose your method. And then the first time I did it, I just remember my mind was blown away, and I was thinking, wow, I can't remember what I experienced, but I remember I was just, oh my God, I mean, how is that like the best kept secret? Why did I study this and nobody told me to do it that way? I felt whatever I started getting all sorts of signals, and then I remember a lot of things. First, I remember thinking, how much did you manage to put in that program? Because there was so much. I mean, my school was for 2 years we studied, and you covered such important topics. There was every single time there was so much. And sometimes there would be a session called something, and I would think, oh yeah, that session probably not going to be interesting because I knew all that. I studied those chakras. For how long can you study them? And there's always something completely kind of different. And the progress with meditation was so quick for me, and I was doing it before. I was just, I was doing a candle meditation. Like the energy changed, the need to sleep. I used to need much more sleep. I used to be much more tired during the day. It's just everything was just falling off me. Like it's not because it was never the real me, but I didn't know. Now I understand that I began to align with the real me, and of course all this essentially, like you're saying, stories that you make up that are not true, they were kind of fading away because they weren't true. And so that was my experience with your spiritual success.
Yeah, I think that's important to hear because, like you said, you are well studied in a lot of this, but the information, it really is 10 years of my education put into this 1-year program. And you're like, I thought I knew this, but you're vulnerable and you're willing to see it or look at it differently. And it made my heart melt to hear from a woman so educated as you that you're having such big takeaways, but it's also because you were applying it. And you weren't just taking the information, you were doing the work to get the transformation. I always saw you doing your homework. I always saw you putting, being accountable, doing your vision boards. And of course, that's why we're getting the results. So I just love hearing too, that as a woman who's meditated very often, the Successful Soul System was something that was like for you. So yeah, I mean, I've meditated with so many different spiritual groups. I went to school for meditation, and then I just channeled this. And there's so much in the Successful Soul System where it deals with your subconscious. It deals with connection to masculine and feminine and universal laws. It really helps you to surrender. And this is the thing that I feel like really allows women to have these higher callings come and emerge through them. And as somebody is stuck with it as much as you, I think it's obvious those higher callings have certainly come through. Now, we've done a lot of work, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But one thing that I think is really that I've noticed about you, that your people in your everyday life are noticing about you, is the fact that truly you're like glowing all the time. And you have people literally use the words glowing with you, but you're radiant. It's because your inner light is so bright that it almost can be seen from the outside. So have you noticed, so other than people seeing that you're glowing, what are some other things you notice people have said about you since you really started sticking to the work inside Spiritual Success Experience and being dedicated to your meditation practice?
Yes, the glowing is almost ridiculous because so many people say the same thing, and very often they will start saying something like, especially if they haven't seen me for a while, wow, you look amazing, and I'll automatically say, oh, I've done my hair, or oh, I've done my makeup, or whatever that is, and they go, no, it's something else, and they would say, you glowing, and I was like, oh, of course. But the other thing, it was much more coming through when we started doing one-on-one, but even already then, I remember the person I probably least expected to hear it from, we were having a catch-up with my, like a review with my boss, and he was saying to me, what is it you're doing? You changed so much. I was thinking, he's not going to say I'm glowing, that would be ridiculous, like how do you mean? Say, well, you're just so much more happy, and you're just like, like a different person, you're much more relaxed, and I was thinking, wow, so, because I didn't think I was doing anything differently at work. At work you work, right? I mean, how much more different can you be? But apparently no, it was very obvious to everyone else probably.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not just, what you do on the inside, it's going to reflect on the outside. And people can see when you're doing the inner work because it shows on your outside. And I just think that's so cool that, like, I tell everybody, it's usually around, if you're super committed to it, when you do the Successful Soul System, it's 2 weeks that you start noticing some changes. So we'll talk more about these changes, but let's talk about becoming a VIP client, which means you are working with me one-on-one, and we are just getting through your 6th month of that. So what made you decide to not just do the Spiritual Success Experience, but really step up and commit and invest in doing one-on-one work together?
Well, that's again, I kept thinking, I didn't actually know, but I felt that your potential was so huge, because every time I would listen to you in a session, I would think, how can she know? Because as you said, when after I paid the full amount, because I was paying full, so I paid the full amount for that meditation course as in Spiritual Success without ever seeing you. And then when I did see you, I was almost like, oh my God, like what did I pay for? She's too young, she's too pretty, she doesn't look like a meditation teacher. And I was just, every single time I would, because when when what the person is saying is all that they know, or whether it's just like the surface, and there's so much more behind. Mm-hmm. And with you, I always felt that even though you're sharing and sharing and sharing, there's so much more to tap into. And I guess I was just curious. I was thinking, I'd love to know how it feels, what it is. But there was a moment, though, I can't remember if I told you about this, because another program came along, and I started doubting because of the investment I wanted to invest into another program. And here, and I was thinking, well, I've already done the CT, maybe I should just go. And I did some of my usual ways of asking the questions. And I had such strong yes for you. I was just, wow, okay, right, I'm not going to ask anymore. And again, I didn't know actually almost what I wanted from it, but I certainly got much more than I probably would have believed possible.
Yeah. So again, you're listening to your intuition, you're feeling the desire, you're feeling the calling, not sure which way to go, but you had sure signs that we didn't know. And so we just started a VIP. And I remember when you came to me, it was kind of like a very broad idea of what we wanted to achieve. It was kind of like, I really want to get more tapped into discipline. I really want to, time block a little bit more efficiently. I'd like to be more connected to my intuition. And there's like this thing I've been wanting to get done for a while now.
No, I remember our first session actually, because I remember thinking, I told you all these things, like I want to be more disciplined, I want to connect better, all of these things. And to me, that sounded like really good goals. And you were like, no, but what are your real goals? Like goals that you can actually measure and achieve. And they have to be big. And I remember thinking, well, we're doing a 6 month program. What big thing can you achieve in 6 months, right? But you were like, no, we have to have a goal. And I remember thinking, all right, fine, I'm writing this book. And by then I think it was 18 months I was doing it for. And I was thinking, okay, if I finish this book, and I didn't believe I would, but I thought, okay, fine. If she's insisting I have a goal, that was the only thing that was on my mind. I said, okay, I'd like to finish that book. Sorry, let me get that cat out. And so I chose that without thinking that, it would be particularly doable or whatever, but you made me do it, I did.
That's my thing. And see, people ask me all the time, Cynthia, like, how is it possible that you hit 6 figures in 4 months? How'd you hit multi-6 figures in 6 months? How is it you have this and this and that, gone from like completely bankrupt to becoming a multimillionaire within a short period of time? Because you have to have a goal. You have to have a plan. You have to have intention. You have to have direction. And once you can create momentum, you can really get hyperspeed your results. You can collapse time, but we have to know what it is we want so that we can have this plan. And so when I have you come up with goals, I want you to have goals that kind of make you shake your boots. I want you to be a little intimidated. If your goals don't scare you, then they're not big enough, because you can have that and so much more. So our big goal together was like, okay, we're going to write this book. And you're like, there's no freaking way. Like, this is not how this goes. And I wrote 2 parts of the book. The third part is way bigger, way harder. I can't get it done. Well, it was in, how many weeks did we do it?
Well, it was exactly 6 weeks, because I was on holiday and you started saying to me, Natalia, you have to sort of set up a deadline for the book. And I remember saying, and we had this conversation for a few weeks, because I kept saying, well, but you don't understand, because it's a professional book. I don't even know what I want to write in the last part. So I don't know how long it's going to take me. And I don't know how long, what my work schedule is, because obviously if I'm really, really busy, then I get tired. I won't probably be able to write it in the evening because I need to focus. My husband was telling me all these things. My husband is the only person who I know who actually wrote, as in he didn't, but he knows people who wrote in his area in law who wrote professional books, and he kept telling me how impossibly difficult it is, and how I can't listen to you in that sense, because you might be brilliant and everything else, but it's different. It's different. But because, again, like, you kept pushing, and I remember when I committed to doing this, and that's actually the advice I would give to everyone. If you do it, don't do it, because it is an investment, both your money and your time. If you do it, do it properly. So that was my commitment to myself, that, okay, at least I'll attempt to do whatever you tell me to do, otherwise what's the point? And so you said to me, choose a deadline, and I remember thinking, okay, I'll choose a deadline which is as far back as possible. But because I do things properly, I asked, so before my meditation, I asked before I went to bed, so what's the deadline? And the deadline that came to me was end of August. And I immediately dismissed it, thinking, oh, that's 6 weeks and I'm on holiday. This is not even discussable. It's like, I must have got it wrong. And I did it a few times, and I got exactly the same date, 31st of August. And I remember thinking, someone is up there is basically having a laugh at me. And so we chose the deadline, and somehow
and you finish on the August 30th, a day before. Yeah. So a lot of things here. So what happens is, a lot of times we make problems into problems that aren't even problems. We have all these stories that we tell ourselves that aren't true. We look at the past as evidence to make up our future. And my goal for you is to be the director of your life and rewrite that script, to take away the obstacles and really see a more clear path. To not be in the maze, stuck in it every day, but to be the CEO, the inner feminine beast that looks down on the maze and can see the clearer path. And so when we just commit to it, we just say we're going to do it. And instead of forcing and pushing, we enjoy the process. And the thing is, what I love about Natalia, I love about you, is that, as a coach, clearly I love you and I support you. And, I feel like I'm kind to you, but I'm also, you came to me with a mission. And my job is to shake you with love. And there was a lot of times where I can tell you're like, oh, this lady's driving me nuts. This is impossible. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
But you still were open and vulnerable. That's how I am with my coaches. That's how I am with my mentors. But I trust my inner feminine beast picked this mentor. So I'm willing to listen, and I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to do what they say because I'm going to trust in them. And what's fun about this is, to be honest, it hasn't happened yet. Get ready for 2022. But I personally have not written a book. But it doesn't mean I can't help hold you accountable and set the standard. When you come to me and you tell me what you want, I can see it in my mind. So if I can see in my mind, I know it's possible. And so I'm going to hold you to that standard to get it done and take what I know how to do, what I'm an expert at. It might not be writing books, but it's about hitting goals, about hyperspeeding time and being committed and being a woman of her word to get it done and see it through. So that's what we did. And a lot of times people say, well, if you never did this, Cynthia, how can you help me? Well, because I know how to do the process. I hold you accountable to do the research on how to get it done, but I can help you to have integrity, to have responsibility, and to commit to it and hold your hand through that process, which also means very often shaking you with love. So yeah, we wrote this book. We thought 6 months would be the goal. We did it in 6 weeks, which is freaking fantastic. So we had a lot more time to do other things together. So what would you say are some of the biggest achievements that have happened besides writing the book since working together as a VIP client?
It's so many different things. I'm thinking I'll just start saying whatever comes to mind first, because it still is happening. I think I'm still feeling so often. I keep still catching myself. I think it's breaking my own limits, because when you listen to a session and you say these things like you make stories into stories and you agree. I mean, I think, yeah, of course we do, and you can probably see how others do it, but you don't notice for yourself. That's the annoying thing. Or maybe you notice one little thing, but not all these huge other things. And it started with the book. I remember because I was on holiday and we had this thing. I think you said to me, well, when I'm on holiday, I can do a session or something. I remember saying, no, but that would mean like, either it's a holiday and I rest, or it kind of spoils the holiday. And I remember working that day and thinking, but is it true? Like when my family is not, we went for a walk, we came back, everyone's doing something of their own. Why can't I just sit down and do half an hour? How can that spoil my holiday? I can't remember. So I think that was the first thing that started. But up until now, I keep finding these things. I didn't realize how rigid I was in my thinking, how many rules I had for myself. Like, it has to be like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. And when you start noticing and saying, and almost like going, no, I mean, it can be the tiniest thing. Like, I'm in the office yesterday and I wanted to go to the gym because my gym is next to my office. And I only come to the office once a week these days. And they moved. I had so many meetings, and the meetings was shifted. The time I planned to go to the gym was gone. And I looked at my diary and I have half an hour and I'm thinking, okay, that's not happening. And before that would have been it. It's not happening. Now the voice says, why not? I go, well, because half an hour is not enough. Okay, can you do 60%, 70%? Yes, but it's in the morning. I never go to the gym in the morning. Why? Because morning is my most productive time. But now I can see it, and I see, okay, that's one rule I made. I made the rule. The second rule I made is like, well, you know what? My rule, I break it. I went to the gym. Surprisingly, I did about 95% of my workout because I just crushed it. I came back feeling great. And but my point is, you continue with the process. But the thing I probably enjoyed the most is, I feel like I'm like that caterpillar that's sort of getting rid of all this, whatever, the cocoon thingy, and getting into something much more light. The word light comes to me all the time, so much lighter, and in the body, but in the mind, in the attitude, I not only achieve more, but I actually enjoy everything more, and I feel so much more happier. Like, yeah, I think to me that's probably the best thing, and I so agree with what you teach, that all your whole task is to stay aligned, and it sounds easy, it's not. But to notice
it's not easy. Yes. The thing is, Natalia is probably one of the most humble people I know. She's super confident and she's shows up as her inner feminine beast, but she won't mention all the things like on her own. And so I want to give you some credit for the things. You mentioned it a little bit before, but I mean, it was funny when you shared with me. So, you sat down and you had your yearly review. Your boss is like, what are you doing differently? Yeah. You're showing up different. And you're like, when did this start? And they would say like, well, around 9 months ago, I started seeing some change. Around 6 months ago is when I really okay, that's when I enrolled in Spiritual Success Experience. That's when I enrolled in VIP coaching. But of course, and the things that I love that you shared with me was, You just are bringing a new perspective. You're showing up in your leadership. You people are noticing you at work and recommending you for new positions and promotions. Like your name is coming out consistently, and you're like, Cynthia, the funny part is I'm not working as half as hard as I used to. Like that's the annoying part, but it's also the great part, because it's not what you do that matters, it's who you are when you do it. We're writing a book while we're crushing it at work. It's not this or that, it's this and that. We get to do both because we decide.
I forgot this and that made a huge difference, because we're so programmed to think, well, it's either that or that. I mean, no. With work is really interesting because, as you're saying, I certainly not investing any more time. It's probably the other way around. I work differently because I connect before I work. You taught me how to connect, to get into my my body, get out of my mind, get into the be connected, and then know exactly what I need to do. I'm learning to follow more and more. Forget about what I planned. I plan it anyway, but if I feel like I really don't want to be doing what I planned, this is something else, I do it. But the interesting thing is, this really interesting opportunity opened up at work, really big one. And I was musing how the me before would have literally passed it by. And it's really scary, because you think of how many other opportunities you had or do have, but you genuinely do not see them. Because before I would have thought, well, I don't know how to do it, so it's impossible. I don't know if it's a big project to do with 3 other ladies, very senior women in the company. And I would have thought, well, I actually don't know this lady or that lady, and I don't actually like that one. I don't think it would work, and I don't know how to do it. What was happening here is I literally was just following my hunches, and one of them was, we had it on the vision board. I wanted to have more friends, more people, not just friends, but people that inspire me, that are more interesting than me, more better in me than some area. And all of a sudden, I started seeing all the senior women at work whom I knew before, but for some reason they didn't interest me. And so I started making connections. So we started meeting up, we started having conversations, all this before this idea of that project came along. So when that project came along, then suddenly, guess what? I was actually prepared. I now had all the connections in place. But when I did that, I had no idea why I was doing that. And if anyone said to me, why are you investing your time? Because before I was like, okay, my time is so precious. I'm always so busy, my time. My time is precious, but before it would be like, okay, if I don't see the output right now, I'm not investing my time there. I'm not seeing this person for coffee because I'm too busy doing other things.
Yeah.
But now I've learned, like literally I go through the office, I see someone I had not thought about, I want to walk into the room and talk to them. And my brain is still trying to sort of saying, like, can you not see the person's busy? Can you not see they closed the door? You're supposed to be doing something else. But I see it now and I go, what do I feel? And I feel, no, what feels good is to open that door, speak to him. You go do that, and something amazing comes up, and you think, for goodness sake.
You follow your guidance. And so the thing is, remember, we're the directors of our life, so we write the script. Very often we do exactly what you used to do all the time. So it's not learning something new, it's unlearning the things you conditioned yourself to do. Oh, if I do this, it's going to turn to that, which is going to turn to this, and what if it goes wrong, and what if it doesn't work out, and what if most likely that's what's going to happen. So we write this thing, and if you say it is, then so it is. Write it for you the way you want it to go, and be that woman that gets it done that way and watch it happen that way. If you want to get results like her, you have to be like her. And that's what you're doing. And the thing is too, again, I love the fact that you're not necessarily like an entrepreneur woman, you're an executive woman. But regardless or not, you're the CEO of your life. And the thing is, I'm a sales girl. Everybody knows that. I love sales. I love connecting to people. But whether you are selling something or not, you're still in sales if you work with people, because you're constantly selling yourself. Why pick you for the promotion? Why pick you for this leading role? Why do I want to have this connection? I would not be where I am in the level of success that I am if it wasn't through the power of proximity. So I remember there was a lot of resistance in the beginning, but a lot of your homework was, no, go have that connection call. But I'm not in sales or an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. Put yourself out there, because people will help you. Together we rise. So learning to get out of your comfort zone, and now you're being noticed everywhere. People are like literally suggesting, pick her to be in this role. We want her. Like, I think it's amazing. It's clearly your fitness has gone off the chains. You've always been that woman, but you're really honing your craft. You're making time. You're really taking your tennis to the next level. And of course, we're socializing and making friends in tennis now. Your time blocking. I know this was something that was really difficult for you in the beginning, but getting so disciplined in your time blocking, but not just that, really honing your craft. The funny part, again, I never wrote a book, but I understand writing. I write every single day. It's not perfectly planning everything. It's giving yourself permission to have fun with it and to be in alignment. When you are in alignment as her, femininity is wild. It's fluid. It's not rigid and expecting having had to be perfect and edited the first time. So we're able to learn to open up automatic right and learn how to channel, which is something that you've become a master at now. But in the beginning, it was like, I don't know. But again, trusting in the process, trusting what I had to say, and being vulnerable and willing to do the work. That's how we were able to write the book so quickly. So the last thing I think, I mean, I could talk about this for a million times, but I just think it's amazing when we look at what our planet has gone through in the last year with the pandemic. There's, people losing their jobs at this moment. People are getting laid off. And during this time, you're receiving the biggest bonuses you've ever gotten. It's like people are recognizing you. And it's like, I don't know, I just in and out, we could be here for another hour just talking about all the different things that you have accomplished and how you're showing up and how you're celebrating yourself differently and how you're treating yourself and how you're letting go of resistance and you're not reacting. You're now aligning, like you're being proactive. All these different things is completely different. And I just want to say kudos to you. I'm so proud of you. And I also wanted to mention one more thing that I think is really cool. I actually cried about this and had a lot of tears because I thought it was one of the nicest things. You are in the UK. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I saw pictures inside our spiritual success experience that you and several of the other ladies inside the program who are in the UK actually are meeting up, getting together, having coffee dates, going to botanical gardens. Seeing you meet with other ladies just blows my mind. So I'd love for you just to mention too, even though you don't make the live calls, you're always watching the replay. What is it like having a container of women? So you're doing one-on-one work with me, but when you do one-on-one, you still get the experience of the group coaching and spiritual success experience. So what is it like being in that container of the other women? What is it like having that support?
I think it's obviously crucial. As at least if you have a one-on-one, I have you to kind of keep me in the right energy, in the right vibration, because that really, as we said, is the only thing. But it's not easy because people in everyday life, like my husband is not of the same. He's not interested in these things. People at work, no. I mean, there's one person actually who is sort of taking it from me. Most of my friends, again, I'm leading them, so some of them are following in my footsteps, but generally speaking, no. So there's that few people you can discuss what you're learning with, and it's important to keep that vibe. It's almost like you want to lock yourself in on that frequency so you don't go down, because everything else kind of pushes you either down or at least away and aside and whatever have you. Whereas you just want to stay, be clear what you want and stay on it and stay in that vibration. And of course, that's what helps. That's why I wanted to meet with the ladies who live in the UK, and I could meet with them because we can discuss the same things, and you almost created like a community with the same language. Like we can, we all use your expressions, and we know what it means if we say "but of course," or you go first, the universe responds, or
we have our own lingo, don't we?
You can write like a little booklet of all the different terminology that you introduced, and they understand each other. And also there's that feeling that if I can help them, I will help them, just not for any particular reason, but just because they kind of part of the same community.
Yeah. Like I said, I get like teary. I just think about it because I think my biggest, like I love coaching. I love working with anybody individually, but all of my clients are important to me. And I think the thing that's most special is that I wanted to create a community where, people felt supported, motivated, inspired, and then they would go through this journey together. And I knew everybody would like each other, but I had no idea when I first created this that it would be the sisterhood that it is. And just, I have women working together, hiring each other, promoting each other on the podcast, meeting each other across an ocean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's amazing. This family that we created, it really is a sisterhood. And I thought it was so fun that even though you're not participating in the lives because the times that, they're going, you're still there and part of it. And we welcome you. And you just really have shown up in your leadership and showing what's possible for so many people. So before we wrap up here, I would love to know, because I'm sure other people would like to know, one, what is your favorite part of having me as your coach? And two, would you recommend the one-on-one work for other people?
Well, obviously, I would recommend the working. I mean, who wouldn't want the results? I don't know, actually. I wonder whether it's this Voxer support part, which I didn't think much of before, because as part of the package is that you said, you can leave me messages and I promise to reply Monday to Thursday. And I remember thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to use it because, how many questions can you possibly have?
Right.
And that was the biggest thing, because you wouldn't just reply like yes, no, or something, but you would always do it through an example, and just watching you, because there's that much you can share during the session, and just actually listening to you almost every day, really, and replaying your messages and hearing the things. And also it's just watching you grow, because you've grown over those 6 months as well, and I kept watching you change. And
always growing.
But it's such an inspiration, because it's so easy. When I met you, you were already like this. You were already, I don't know, successful, beautiful, confident, an excellent speaker, and you kind of almost assume that the person had always been like that. And then you would share to me things that happened to you relatively recently, like 3 years ago. You were like that. I was like, what? Or that's how I used to be. It's like, what? And just realizing that a person can change just like that,
It's a decision. It's a decision. And once you decide and you commit to it, you can do so many things possible. As a coach, as a mentor, I'm not here to be on a pedestal and be like, I'm the greatest, but I choose to lead by example and show you what's possible. If I can do it, you can do it. And I hold myself to the standard every day. And when you come and say, commit to being with me, there's commitment there where I'm going to hold you to that standard as well. You might not like it at first. It may seem like I'm being pushy or hard or shaking you a lot with love, but it's because I love you that I'm going to shake you. You can do it. You will do it. You are doing it. In my mind, it's already done. So yeah, I'm glad. The Voxer is one of my favorite parts as well. When you work one-on-one, you have Voxer support with me, which if you're not familiar with Voxer, it's basically like walkie-talkie, where you can leave voice messages Monday through Thursday. And at the end of the day, I go in. So whether it's, questions that came up, or after, the one-on-one session, you notice things like that, getting accountability to do your homework, because you always have a recap after every single session where I give you assignments to make sure that you're doing and applying in between. That's the kind of support I want to give my VIP clients, is that they have me every single day, throughout the week, to have in their back pocket. Because it's not just mindset work. Again, it's embodiment work. It's being her now. And it doesn't matter if you're her sometimes. You're going to get all the results when you consistently are staying at the frequency of her. And so that's why that kind of support is needed every day. So yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. And who do you recommend this for? You said, so you do recommend it, but who is this for, do you feel like?
I think I would recommend it, but because it is an investment, I think it's for people, you have to be serious about, you have to genuinely want to and be able to commit. Because as you said, you don't do the doubling and the trying and whatever. But the thing is, you don't let others do that also. So if someone's just like, well, I'll see what happens, but don't push on my, this is my limitations and this is my beliefs. Then, because I remember that some of the messages, especially initially, I was thinking, but she doesn't understand. Oh, she wasn't being supportive of this. And then as you keep listening, you think, she's right. Bother, she's right. But also, there's so many times when I felt low and I would just leave a message and expecting that you'll beat me up for being in the low state and whatever. And it's almost like when to kind of push and when to pick you up, pick the person up. And actually, in a funny way, I remember that when I finished the book, I remember that feeling that actually it's not many people I can share it with, and to enjoy that, like I could feel that sheer joy from you about my achievement. Because with a lot of friends, it would be some of them, a bit of jealousy, this, that, the other. It's not the same. Whereas this is like a person that 100% will share even your big successes. Yeah.
Well, I do mean it. When it comes to my clients, your success is my success. And I share this with you. I share this vision with you. And again, it isn't for everybody. You have to come here to be willing. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to expect that I'm going to push you and set you to a standard. I want you to get results. I need you to get results. And so every client that we have as VIPs are doing big things, like really big things. They're all having wins, but because again, these are the standards that I set. So I just want to appreciate you so much. I just want to thank you so much for, being vulnerable and sharing your story with everybody. We have so much more to look forward to, which I'm excited about. But again, I just want to thank you today. I'm going to wrap up and let everybody know a little bit more information about VIP coaching. But everybody, round of applause. Thank you so much, Natalia. I love you, and I'll be seeing you very soon inside the program.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you.
Of course. She is amazing. I'm so grateful for her. And yeah, what can be achieved in 6 months blows people's minds, but this is what I do. This is my purpose. This is how I get things done. I love to hyperspeed. I love to condense time. I love to rewrite stories that are just bullshit lies. We tell ourselves such limiting things that aren't true. I've learned how to do this for myself. And now I have made it my life purpose to help women to see the possibilities, to truly have courage to say yes to their success, but most importantly, not just to think and pray and plan, but to do something about it, get it done and see it through. So this is just a great example. I'm so grateful. You can look forward to many more of these amazing interviews. This is a podcast episode too. So if you're listening on the podcast, just so you know, come join us inside the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group where you can, learn more about how to work with me. But also, if you are somebody who is interested in having one-on-one work, as a quick reminder, how this works is we have a 3-month and a 12-month option for my VIP clients. You must apply to be able to do this. You'll go through an interview process with me after I read your application. I want to make sure that you're super serious about this. It's true. As Natalia said, you have to be willing, you have to be open. This is not just for somebody who wants to dabble or complain or put the work on me. I'm going to help you. I'm not going to just hold your hand. I'm going to teach you how to stand in your power. I'm going to teach you how to have integrity, responsibility, and to be a woman of your word, how to set goals that are super big and learn that it is possible and that you can truly condense the time. So look forward to more stories about how some of my clients have quit their jobs, started their own companies, have moved across the country with, during a pandemic, who are, having $100,000 cash months, just starting new companies. Women are having the biggest cash months ever. Some of them are having $12,000 days for the first time ever. And this is all because you write the story. You're the CEO of your life. If you say you can, you can. And sometimes it just needs that support to help you, to have somebody who's doing it and leading by example. So again, if you have something that seems completely outrageous, there's no way Cynthia knows how to do this. It's not if I know how to do it. It's more so I understand how to hit goals. That's what I know to do. Your goal can be anything you want. This is not cookie cuttered. VIP is one-on-one customized work. So again, there's a 3-month and a 12-month option, and we would meet 2 times a month. But also you have that Voxer support, which is Monday through Thursday, every single week, where you can leave me questions. Let me know what's happening. Let me know about your experiences. And at the end of the day, you'll have a recap from me. Every time we meet live, I'm going to have a full written recap to you. You get a replay of your recording of your session that you can keep for life. And you're going to have homework assignments, because it's not just like, oh, okay, what do I do in between? You need to make sure you're taking the steps in alignment so that you're getting these aligned results. So if you're interested, my team's going to be putting the link here for you to be able to apply. And what's also important and very important for me is that if you are a one-on-one client, just so you know, it's not just working with me. I want all of my VIP clients to be enrolled in the Spiritual Success Experience. So if you're in a VIP, you get everything that's included, which means you'll come to our group sessions once a week. You'll get all the worksheets that are come through a whole year program. You'll be part of that community where you are going to have your Facebook support, daily meditation check-ins every single day. And just so you know, for Spiritual Success Experience, we just started monthly one-on-one calls with an accountability coach to make sure that you are catching the replays, keeping up on your vision boards, hitting your monthly goals, because you have to be committed. You have to do the work. I always say you can bring a thirsty horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? See, the thing is here, I give you mad refills. Drink as much as you want. My team is here to support you. So they're checking in you every day, making sure you're doing your meditation. You're getting a monthly call one-on-one with a coach to make sure that you're staying on track and hitting your goals. And some of my SSE ladies are going to be like, what? This is new, but I'll announce it here. We're now starting Inner Feminine Beast Accountability Power Hours every single month. We're going to have a session where you can come in and make sure that whatever's on your to-do list that you've just been postponing, you come in, we're going to hold you accountable to get it done. And for many of you, that means getting your vision board for next month ready. So my team is there making their vision boards. That's how much I believe in a monthly vision board, that I have my team going in there, hosting these, getting their own vision boards done, but helping you to make sure that you're taking the steps to get whatever it is on your to-do list done. So all of this, a membership portal, replays that you have for the length of the period, all of my paid master classes, which happen very often. Never know what's new. The old ones, the new ones, you'll be getting all of these in Spiritual Success Experience. But as a VIP client, you get all of that plus the one-on-one sessions with me. So a lot of information there. If you ever have questions, Abby, Inner Feminine Beast, IFB is here. She can answer any questions that you have. Definitely go and apply. Even if you're not sure if it's the right fit or not, we are here to tell you if it is. Trust me, if you're not ready to commit to the level that I need you to, I'm not going to have you come in here because I need you to get results. But I will tell you what is the best option. I will have resources to help you, to prep you. And again, I'm just really grateful for this opportunity, and I'm so excited to be welcoming more ladies. We are on a wait list, just so you know. There are, I believe we have 2 spots that are opening at the end of this month. So go and apply. We're going to review all the applications, and we're going to be reaching out to a few people that we feel can be the best fit for this program. So I just want to let you know about that as well. Ladies, thank you so much. Until next time, acknowledge it, embrace it, see it through. Bye, successful souls.
Hey, successful soul. Before you head to the next episode of Spiritual Success, be sure to come join me and other like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals in my Facebook group called Spiritual Success Sorority. Everyone is welcome. And if you're loving the show, you're going to love the group even more. There, I'll be engaging with you weekly in live shows, listening to your input for new weekly topics, and hosting exclusive workshops for members only. So if you're looking to really up-level your financial and personal success, meet me on over in the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group. See you on the inside.